Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines, and indeed this is the weekly roundup show where we talk about all the horror movie news headlines of the week. All the big major ones that most people are talking about. And I know that there's a lot of smaller ones, but hey, we're going to be talking about Planet of the Dead, Exorcist Reboot, Evil Dead Rise, and Renfield. Have a whole bunch of new trailers out this week too, and it's going to be a show about sharks, big sharks, starting off with the Black Demon and ending with a big shark. Now, the Black Demon they dropped the trailer this weekend. We got our first poster and image gallery. The Black Demon, a massive megalodon shark movie. Okay, well, I like big sharks. And we got a release date a while back that this was going to be April 28th. This is that Josh Lucas movie. That was supposed to come out like a year and a half ago, right? But then it got pushed around, maybe because I'm just speculating because of production issues or budget problems, I don't know. But it was supposed to be like this oil rig gets attacked by a big megalodon shark, and yeah, so we got a trailer and we got a poster out, and for the longest time this was the only image here that we got of like Josh Lucas, and that came out like a year and a half ago, I think, this image here. And this is all we had to go on, and then it just kind of like vanished. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody could get any information as to what was happening with the production. But we got our first poster there. Let's see if I can blow that up a little bit bigger for you guys. Black Demon. Okay, so it's it's looking B-movie quality, right? Looking a little bit low budget. That's okay. I wasn't going to watch the trailers with you guys, but you know what? I don't care. If YouTube says whatever, then I say nuts to that. Let's watch this trailer because I need something to cheer me up.
Have you spotted any pirate ships?
Duh.
What, are you gonna get snippy with us, Cloud?
Ya que estamos en México, ¿por qué no intentamos hablar en español? Quiero nachos.
You know, actually, I think there's a good restaurant right up here.
Whoa. A lot has changed since the last time we were here.
My name is Paul Sturgis. I work for Nixon
things
Oil.
got run down a
Used to
little bit.
ferry out to the rig from here.
Dad, I think I see it. Is that it?
Yep, that's her. I'm here to do the inspection.
What is it?
Protección. Protection from what?
Yeah, protection from what? Oops. What the heck? Why is that like this?
What's going on here?
There we go. Okay, there's a big shot. Show us.
What is that?
Based on a Mexican legend.
The Black Demon.
There must be some way off this rig.
Nothing works. I don't think it can take much more punishment. This is not just any shark.
Okay, so
Brought on not by nature.
the shark.
He's gonna keep getting his revenge until the sacrifice has been made.
There's no real megalodon shark, but you know that it was going to be CG, and it looks well.
The only way to stop it is to kill it.
I have a plan. You will not take my family away from me.
A little bit of Meg, a little bit of Deep Blue Sea in there.
Open your eyes, cabron.
I know a big ass shark when I see one.
Yeah. The Black Demon. April 28th. So, I think we ran into the problem here, guys, as to why this was delayed. Right there. It's a visual effects. I guess they just didn't have the money to complete this in visual effects. So, what do you expect, though? I guess that's what you kind of have to say to yourself is, it's a lower budget film. Let's see what people are saying here in the comments. The CGI doesn't look that bad in this one. Look too bad in this one. I've seen poor CGI. The phony background sets where watching the Supercell trailer makes you wonder how some of the 80s films were made to look better than... Yeah, well, because they get carried away with the green screen stuff. I was going to ask if this is the same universe as the Meg I remember Meg 2 is supposed to come out this year as well. But here's the thing with when they make the Megalodon movies here, I don't know why they got to try to like make the shark look menacing, or like, that's not what I want to say. Not menacing. They want to try to make the shark not look like a real shark. They want to make it. Oh, it's got to have weird scars on it. Oh, it's got to have barnacles on it. It's got to have. It's not going to look like a real shark. No, make it look like a real shark. Just make it bigger. I don't understand it. They did it with the Meg too. The first Meg movie. They made it look like it doesn't look like a real shark. They gave it weird skin tones and stuff like that. And it's like, well, that's because it's not a real thing, James. It's just a Meg. But it's kind of like, for me, just make it a big shark. Make it like, take a great white, make it bigger. That's all you have to do. This, I don't know. I had high hopes for this. Julio Caesar, whatever his name is. He was the bad guy in Sicario, right? He was one of the drug lords. I mean, I'm still going to see this. I'm just not expecting it to be one of the better shark movies. I like the premise, but some of the visual effects were extremely shoddy. Now, towards the end of the show, we'll take a look at something that's like, yeah, this is mid-tier, I suppose. Maybe I'm being too harsh. It's
I keep getting his
it's mid-tier. It's not quite big blockbuster budget level, but it's not the worst. And you'll see the worst when we get down towards the big shark movie here, towards the end of the show. Black Demon. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Did that work for you? Yeah. So, let's move on to the next topic, Renfield. Renfield, sink your teeth into a full gallery of official images. Now, I'm excited for Renfield, mostly because I'm not really excited for the Nicholas Hoult angle on it. I'm more or less interested to see what Nicolas Cage does here as Dracula. And the trailer does look like they do make him menacing, which is good. You know, it does look like it has that cheesy camp to it, but I'm still also interested to see Nicolas Cage doing his thing, which it looks like he's been giving full reign to do. Yeah, all the fighting sequences in this and stuff, it's kind of unexpected. I think it's going to hit. Nicolas Cage here going full tilt. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. Like him being like in an abusive relationship or something like that. Aquafina. There's that crushed velvet costume that we've seen. Okay, so. Oh yeah, there's the original Count Dracula thing that we've seen in the flashbacks. So, wow, there's a lot of images here. It looks like he gets burnt here at one point from the sun, maybe. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah. Oh, that's showing a lot of images that I didn't expect to see. Because some of these images are not even in the trailer, I don't think. All right. Let's go over and take a look at the... who cares if this gets copyright claimed? Oh, it is Universal. Damn. No, shoot. Yeah, because they like to claim everything. So we'll just look at the highlights of this trailer. Yeah. Nicolas Cage. He looks great. Nicholas Hoult, meh. He's okay as an actor. It is an interesting angle. So we see that Dracula does have his ability to turn into smoke and stuff because he goes inside this priest or whatever and blows him up, which is kind of fun. So yeah, it's going to have that fun kind of campy vibe to it when it comes to the kills. I guess the fight sequences are meant to like accent that. And so he'll eat a spider to give him enough blood or something to give him superpowers, enough strength to fight bad people. Yeah. If I play a second of this, do you think Universal will claim it? Probably. But I do like what Nicolas Cage is doing here. And this will be the highlight of the movie for most people. Aquafina, whatever. I got nothing against her. Yeah, this is where he's like, I don't want to be abused anymore, right?
Be free until you face him.
I will no longer tolerate abuse.
Oh yeah, and they use this song "Creep" here, which might get it blocked. And he's like, "Ha ha ha! You were meant to be abused," kind of thing. So I kind of like that angle, right? I think this has the potential to be one of the better films of April for sure. As I said, as long as they don't go too overboard with that camp, I don't know. Maybe it'll work in context. I just like what I'm seeing for sure. The fight sequences here with him like flying through the air and stuff, I think all looks great. Like that's good wire work. Like the stunt work looks like it's going to be on point. This is the red band version, so it shows them ripping off arms and stuff like that. Very bloody, very gory. Yeah. So you know that it's going to be high body count in this one. Yeah, it's cheesy, but it is what it is. Renfield, good. Let's take a look at some of the comments. He finally making his life documentary. What? Nicolas Cage's Dracula is a perfect casting. Yeah, it is. I think it is. This looks hilarious, and it's nice to see another film starring Nicholas Hoult. Ow. Well, it is. I really hope they don't mess this up. Looks good, but we have been disappointed before. Yeah. Because we've seen good trailers for bad movies, and we've seen bad trailers for good movies. So, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for this one. Renfield. When does it come out officially? April 14th. So that's just around the corner, guys. That's like what? 3 weeks? 2.5 weeks? Yeah. 2.5 weeks. One of my more anticipated films of April for sure. Yeah. Good trailer. Some of these images here too. I guess this was clipped all from that trailer. Well, this looks interesting here. We're going to see him in different looks on him. Good or bad, it should still be seen on the big screen. I see Nicolas Cage as purely a support character. Nicholas Hoult looks as if he'll be doing all the heavy lifting as an empowered enabler. Can't wait. Yeah, empowered enabler. That's a good call there, Hourglass Vikings. Yeah. I think that's what we're going to see. All right. This week as well. Mario, then Renfield. Yeah, that's what's coming out in April. Yeah, April is going to have Mario to start us off, and then Renfield. I don't know how the heck Ben Affleck expected to drop Air and have it be like a big, huge success, because these things are going to like bury it. Like it's just going to get lost in the fold. And then the other thing that's coming out in April is Evil Dead. Evil Dead Rise. They dropped a new trailer for that as well. I liked what I saw in this. I like how it started off too, with the mother. Like they're just outright saying that the mother's going to get possessed at the start, and she tries to say protect my kids and stuff like that. This is the mother here, and from what I hear from the early buzz that we saw last week, people are liking it. That it pays respect to the franchise, and we get some very Sam Raimi shots here.
I found it.
Very Evil Dead shots. This is from Lee Cronin, the guy who did Hole in the Ground, right? So, yeah, it looks like it comes for her and it enters her, and then she comes back into the apartment, like acting all weird and stuff, transforming into a deadite. And for the few lucid moments that she has, she says, "Protect my babies," right? Is that what she says?
Babies. Take my babies.
Yeah, protect my kids. She says babies. So we got to look at the Necronomicon in this one. It looks like it's a different version. There's some different pages in there. It looks like an evil temptress of some kind. Yeah. At least they're continuing on with the Necronomicon. I like that. Very wide-angle lens. And you can tell that because of the way that it bends out on the sides. Very creepy, though. It definitely adds to the image. As we know, the Deadites come to an apartment complex, a condominium, right? Or something. And this is where the bulk of the movie is supposed to take place. But I don't know where this lake scene happens. I don't know if that's going to be the end or what, but it's kind of creepy with... Is that a guy or is that a girl? No, that's a girl, right? Because she's wearing a dress in the next shot. Okay. Wait, is that the main... Was that the woman that was supposed to be protecting? That she said, "Protect my babies" to her? So they both get corrupted? Is that her? That's not her, is it? I don't know. No, that's not her. Let's see. She's got a bit of a dimple here, and she's got something on her cheek right there. So that's not her coming out of the water. Yeah, no, that's not her. It's just somebody else, I think. Yeah. But yeah, bloody. And that's good. And she's like, she's with the worms now or something like that. And she jumps out of the water. So yeah. Evil Dead Rise, April 21st. Lots of horror. Good horror is coming out. Renfield. Megalodon. Black Demon at the end of April. Looking forward to that. Sam Raimi said something here that's kind of interesting. He said that he didn't initially like the title of The Evil Dead, which is weird for his horror classic. Oh well. Fine. Why not? Why didn't he like it, James? They said, "We're changing the title, boys. Advertising space newspaper." The original title was The Book of the Dead. Okay. And then the studio sounds like it made him change it to Evil Dead. Advertising space on the newspaper is paid for by the inch, kid, so we're not going to have a 5-word title. Okay, so advertising space. So that's why they changed it to Evil Dead. 2 words instead of 5. Wow. Now that kind of issue doesn't really matter. I just thought that was interesting. So he didn't really originally like the title, Evil Dead. But it's become a staple of us horror fans here for sure. Really looking forward to this. Yeah, I hear great things. All right, what's next? Exorcist Reboot. Let's talk about that. Original Exorcist star Linda Blair reportedly returning for Legacy sequel. Yeah. Now, this is a shot from her in The Heretic, right? Exorcist 2. Which apparently this Exorcist Reboot is just going to ignore the second and the third one. I don't know why they need to ignore the third one if it doesn't really have too much to do with anything else. Because I really like the third one. But cool that she's back. I like Linda Blair. Why not? It's kind of a bummer what happened to her career. She got some roles, but I don't know why she never blew up. Like she never got propelled into huge stardom. Anyway, who played Regan McNeil in the original will reportedly reprise her role for Blumhouse's Legacy sequel. Well, that's good because we heard that Ellen Burstyn was going to be back, right, as the mother. Fine. Yeah, you can have a shot of her. Like maybe I'm thinking cameo here. Because she did have the entity in her first. So, how it could appear. I'm guessing that'll just, I don't know, she'll sense it, or maybe she'll be consulted as to what's going on. What did it feel like? She'll be on like a phone call or something. That's what I'm thinking. I'm looking forward to that. October 13th. Oh, God, it's from David Gordon Green. Oh, crap. That's not good. Yeah, David Gordon Green is the guy who did Halloween Ends. So it's kind of like, oh, and he did Halloween Kills. Evil dies tonight. It's like, come on. It's that guy. Sean, I just wrote on a subreddit that he proved that he didn't know what the heck he was doing with the Halloween franchise. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed for this one too. Hopefully he doesn't mess this one up. If this one he comes out and this messes up, his career is pretty much toast. Yeah. David Gordon Green. I'm not putting much stock in that, but I am curious about the cast. It is Blumhouse. So was Halloween Ends and Halloween Kills, James. So it's kind of like, ooh, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird mix. All right, what's next? Stephen King. Boogeyman is scariest movie one star has seen in a while. 1 star. If it's the kid, yeah, of course it's probably the scariest movie you've seen. I mean, come on. But who was it? Ant-Man star David Dastmalchian proclaims the upcoming film is the scariest movie he's seen in a long time. Okay, so it's David Dastmalchian, the Polka Dot Man himself, said that this was the scariest movie ever. Well, that doesn't surprise me, because doesn't he have like a producing credit in this? So, The Boogeyman, I got to see it. It's one of the scariest films I've seen in a long time. The performances are amazing. Yeah, we saw the trailer for this a while back. For some reason, I had thought Dastmalchian was producing this at some level. The Boogeyman centers on Sadie Sawyer, who picks up the places of... Yeah, let me just pull up the IMDb here and see what we're dealing with here. Rob Savage. Stars. Maybe he was just acting in it. Chris Messina. Okay. No, I guess he wasn't producing him. For some reason I got that in my head though. Why did I get that in my head? That he had an executive producing it on it. There's all the credits. There's all the producers. Sean Levy. Really? The guy who did Free Guy? He's producing this? Yeah, that's Sean Levy. Okay, the guy who's doing Deadpool 3. Huh. So he also produced The Boogeyman. So, cool. One of the scariest movies. The Boogeyman slated to come out, when is that supposed to come out, James? We just have to pull it up. This summer. June, right? June, yeah, June 2nd. The Boogeyman. Arglass says, I think the, what do you say? Linda Blair might coax the evil entity out of the innocent and become the sacrificial lamb as another possession. It would be too much for her. Maybe. Yeah, because she knows that worked before. That'd be kind of cool. We'll have to see how that pans out. Malum Poster. We got a new Malum poster. Malum, we saw the trailer for a couple weeks ago. It's kind of like an indie horror film made by a bunch of movie fans, right? March 31st is when this comes out. Malum is expanded. Now, I don't think it's going to play in a wide release, so I don't know if I'll be able to see it, but we got a new poster. It's like a cult that takes place, overtakes like a hospital or something, right? Or like a prison or something. And it's got like a demon in it. We've seen the demon here in the trailer. Looks like it's going to be practical effects. It's really how this is shot, if it's going to look cheesy or not, right? I'm looking forward to it because it's got Clark Wolf in it, and I want to see what I want to see just her career go through the roof. That's what I want to see. But it is what it is. New poster, very satanic pentagram there, which really doesn't mean much, guys. Yeah, demonic presence. I do like the pig imagery, though. I do. As far as the poster goes, yeah, I dig that poster. Good poster. The Malum demon looks like Picasso painting. Yeah. Hourglass, a little bit. Wearing the bag over the head. I got hints of Chud. Like if you ever seen that movie Chud, with like cannibalistic underground dwellers. It's kind of like, it's got that possibility of running that. It's all about how they photograph it, right? You got practical effects, and we'll see. All right, what's next? My voice is fading on me, guys. It's weird. You feel good in the morning. I felt fine, and then once I start going and stuff, I realize, no, my systems are still not back 100%. Planet of the Dead. Zack Snyder updates an Army of the Dead sequel. Well, we know that he's working on his sci-fi movie right now, right? Rebel Moon, part 1 and 2. So he was asked recently in Inverse interview, could he return to make Planet of the Dead? I didn't hate Army of the Dead. It just didn't wow me. The real venture would be to see what happened to Dieter after the safe door closed. Did he get killed by Zeus or not? What happened? We don't see him die on camera, and there's still some time left. I'll tell you what happens in Army of the Dead 2, also known as Planet of the Dead. Well, let's just say there's a chance that Dieter survives. There's a chance that brush with death could have caused him to want to find a jailed Gwendolyn, Snyder teased. Okay. So he's got some ideas. But it really depends on what happens with that after our Army Rebel Moon. Right? It's still alive, well in mind, Snyder says. So he's got some ideas as to where it could go. Right? Did you like Army of the Dead? I like Batista in it. But I've been liking Batista in a lot of stuff, so it's kind of like, yeah. It kind of introduced me, what was it? Theo Rossi was in that too. It kind of introduced me to him. He was good in that as well. Yeah, looking forward to that. Don't feed the children. What's this? Please don't feed the children. Destry Alan Spielberg directing debut. So, Destry Alan Spielberg. What? Oh, I clicked this one because I saw that it had the girl from, one of the actors from Downton Abbey. She's going to be in this horror movie. That's cool. I dig that. Good to see her stretching out. Destry Alan Spielberg, the daughter of Steven Spielberg, to make her feature debut with Please Don't Feed the Children. Well, we know that Steven Spielberg started off in the horror genre, sort of, with Duel. So, cool. She's following in her father's footsteps. That'll be the headline that people will want to run with, but whatever. Michelle Dockery, there we go, from Downton Abbey, is going to star in this. That's cool. So what's this about? Please don't feed the children after a viral outbreak ravaged the country's adult population. A group of orphans head south in search of a new life, only to find themselves at the mercy of a deranged woman harboring a dangerous secret. That's a weird, fascinating premise. Written by Paul Bertino, a psychological thriller said to be an elevated genre film. Elevated genre. Destry Spielberg said, "I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to bring this story to the screen with such a collaborative..." Okay, so that's just puffing up. That's just like a puff statement there. Yeah. But I do like Michelle Dockery. She is a good actress. She's kind of been pigeonholed because of Downton Abbey a bit, I would say. But she was in that Guy Ritchie movie, The Gentleman, right? She played the wife of Matthew McConaughey, didn't she? I think she did. She's a good actress. She really is. And branching out, doing different genres, why not? That's kind of cool in my book. Yeah. Arglass says, I like Army of the Dead for Batista too. I just went along for the ride. Yeah. I'm definitely going to see this Army of the Dead sequel, The Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2. Yeah. People like Rebel Moon. The little teases that we've gotten. Comes out this year, right? Part 1 comes out this year. I'm mostly looking forward to it because of Sofia Boutella. She's like the lead in it. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so let's just ramble on through some hit or miss here. See if these resonate. Freddie Prinze Jr. calls I Know What You Did Last Summer director an a-hole who gave psychotic notes like don't leave your mouth open. Yeah, I don't understand about that, about giving directions for actors like that. It's like, okay, if you're going to act afraid, opening your mouth is going to be one thing. But if you're going to be doing that all the time, psychotic notes, I don't know. It's just his accounting of it. Hey, sometimes you got to say something like that because it does look weird if your mouth is open all the time, right? But you look at the dailies too. I don't put much stake in that. We heard last week that Freddie Prinze Jr. hasn't even gotten a script for what the reboot or sequel is going to be, right? He told everybody that they're just saying that he was attached to it but he hasn't gotten a call or seen a script yet for it. So that came out in that little bit of information that the original director was kind of a twit. Okay, whatever. Actually, who was the original director? Let me pull that up. Okay. Who was that original director? Let's see if I can corroborate. Jim Gillespie. Comfort and Joy. So he didn't really do that much. Joyride. That was with, okay, yeah. So he didn't really do that much. Oh, he did Venom? No, not the Tom Hardy Venom. Okay. Yeah, so he hasn't really done that much. So he gets thrown under a bus. Whatever. No skin off my back. The what? First look at practical bug monster movie coming up. The what? Now, just like Malum, where you're using practical effects, this is the kind of thing where you've got to be careful on how you shoot this. Because if your animatronics don't hold up, it's going to look very cheesy, just like that. It's not going to look good. So, yeah, you got to photograph it limitedly. And the thing is that you say, well, you just spent like $5,000 to make this ant, and I want to photograph it as much as we can. Well, you know what? The thing is that you just spent $10,000 maybe making this practical ant, and here's my recommendation: you shoot 1 second of it, or maybe 2 seconds of it, very quick flashes of it. That sucks to say, but then why would you spend $10,000 on it if you're not going to showcase it? Well, that's because you don't want it to look like this. You don't want it to look like it's amateur hour here, right? And that looks very amateur hour. So that's what you get. Sadly, the what? I don't expect that one to do much headway. Throwback creature feature. Sorry, man. All right. This is an interesting one. 5 reasons why Fall 2 can't be a direct sequel. Now, Fall is out on Netflix right now, and I saw it earlier this year. It's these 2 girls they climb to the top of a radio tower. The ladder that they climb up on breaks, so they get stranded up there. And if you get afraid of heights, then this one will freak you out. So I liked it. It wasn't like mind-blowingly awesome, but it's got the girl who was just in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Not her, the other actress. But for some reason, in these photos are not showing this actress. She was Mary. She was the one that transformed into the Red. She's in it, and that's why I watched this one, to see what she could do as an actress, and she's really good. But yeah, her story arc, she's the main character. Her arc gets complete in this. So they're just talking about sequel ideas, because we heard last week that the director had an idea for like a second one, right? But yeah, and it's a very small, confined story of these 2 girls stuck up on the tower. So yeah, it's not a big cast. The father is played by Negan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So it's kind of like, yeah, they get stuck up there. How do they get down? Do they both get down? Well, that's why you want to watch it, right? How do they solve that situation? And if you're afraid of heights, they do a good job of photographing it. You're just like, why would you climb up there? Why would you do that? So for that, I would say it's worth checking out. And could it go somewhere in a sequel? I would think so. Possible. All right, let's round out this show by talking about Big Shark. Now, talking about bad visual effects here, guys. Let's just get the elephant out of the room. This is Sharknado territory here we're dealing with, and this is probably like the only relevant shot worth looking at. Because I think this is from the director of The Room, Tommy Wiseau. What is that his name? Big Shark. Yeah. So yeah, Tommy Wiseau. So it's from him. The first part of the trailer is nothing to do with a shark. It's just about these 2 guys boxing, which again shows that this guy has no idea how to put together a story. What the heck does boxing have to do with this shark? For like 30 seconds of the trailer, and then all of a sudden they cut into this part. It's very low budget, very CGI. Like this is what you would use for your like pre-visual effects. If it's bad enough that some people from The Room will be fans of this, it's Birdemic quality, right? Birdemic, right? So finally cinema is back. People are making fun of it, kind of like that, right? The trailer honestly deserves an Oscar for best short film. Why? So yeah, it's got that kind of clout to it. I can't wait to see this genius, Tommy Wiseau. Big Shark. No. This one's not for me, guys. I do like Big Shark movies. We started off talking about the Black Demon, and I was making fun of its visual effects. They look superior to this. Like, I mean, look at this. You can see like I don't know what the heck those are, rendering marks within the wire mesh of the CGI. Ugh. Yeah. I don't know why you could look at that and say, yeah, that looks good. Let's run with that, guys. Unless you know that you're making something that's supposed to be like a self-parody of itself. All right. The thing is I feel fine up here. It's just my body just isn't giving it all. All right. I am going to try to do my formal review for John Wick. I don't know how successful I'm going to be, but I am going to try. A lot of people liked my straight out of the theater reaction, though, yesterday. It went up nicely in views. So, and I'll talk a little bit about some spoilers perhaps after. Let's get into it. John Wick Chapter 4 is out in theaters this weekend, guys, and did you go out and see it? Here are my initial thoughts and my movie review for John Wick Chapter 4. The synopsis reads, John Wick uncovers a path of defeating the high-tech table. What? John Wick uncovers it. Oh, jeez. I messed that up. All right. We'll cut this out. John Wick Chapter 4 is out in theaters this weekend. Hey. Yeah. John Wick Chapter 4 is out in theaters this weekend, guys, and I liked it. I like this movie a lot. Let's go over and I'll read the synopsis for you guys. John Wick Chapter 4. John Wick uncovers a path to defeating the High Table. But before he can earn his freedom, Wick must face off against a new enemy with powerful alliances across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes. Now, here's what you need to know from this movie. It's 2 hours and 50 minutes. It's got one post-credit scene. Yeah, they do something really bold in this movie that'll make you go, I hope they can stick that landing. Some people won't like it. I liked what they did with it. The action in this is the highlight of the film. Keanu Reeves in this, you can tell that he did like the hard work in making all of the gun work look realistic. All the nunchucks. That's what I'll say. Look at the nunchucks in this, and you'll be just like, that scene alone is just like, wow. Now, there were a few times there towards the end that I was like, okay, just get on with it already. He just did this huge big thing, and then he gets knocked down again. It's like, he's got to fight his way back to the top again. It's like, did we really have to do that? Yeah, so I don't know how it's going to hold up upon repeat viewings, but knowing now what I know how it ends, it may have more value in it for me. This is definitely going to have some repeat value in it for sure. The acting in it, it was actually surprisingly good. Really, really good, actually. From Keanu, he's been good. But some of the other standouts, Ian McShane, Winston. I was kind of like meh with him through the other installments. But in this one, I felt like he really came out and stepped out in the forefront. Where I was like, yeah, I'm on board with what he's doing. Clancy Brown plays the Harbinger. Very interesting role for him, too. I liked what he was doing. Bill Skarsgård is like our bad guy with the money kind of thing. Bill Skarsgård plays the Marquis or whatever. French guy. Very menacing. Good job. And Donnie Yen as Kane. Really cool performance by him. Really cool. Hiroyuki Sanada. He's kind of like the manager of the Continental version of the Japanese version of the Continental. So he has a really cool fight sequence in this movie too. Actually, it's not spoiling anything, but Hiroyuki Sanada and Donnie Yen throw down in this, and that's worth the price of admission alone. Yeah, so many fight scenes in this. Great job. That's why I tell you to go check this out. If you're a big fan of like those 80s martial arts movies and stuff like that, them using exotic weapons and stuff, then you're going to like what you see in John Wick Chapter 4. For sure. Where does it fit for me in terms of the franchise? Well, I like Parabellum. For me, right now, I think, obviously, the first John Wick is the best. And then I would probably have to say this one, guys. This is probably the second best one. And then Parabellum, and then number 2 for me. I really like Parabellum too. But, yeah, that's the way that I would rank the John Wick films. Go out and see it if you can. Let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying. See if I agree. 96% by the critics, 96% by the audience. Okay, so that's good. Because this movie does have a bit of a jarring end to it that some people will be like, I don't know if I like that or not. And it seems like it is landing with people. So that's good. So that's what I said, where I don't know if it's going to stick the landing or not for some people. That's what I was worried about. And it looks like people are reacting well to the ending. And as long as they got the gumption to stick with that ending, then I'm on board with John Wick Chapter 4 being right up there. Not quite as high as a 9.6 or 96%. And it's not quite that high. And a lot of that has to do with the length. A lot of some kind of repetitiveness that I think they could have trimmed this down. I think they definitely could have. So let's take a look at some of the reviews here. I want to take a look at one of the bad ones. I want to take a look at a negative one here. So let's take a look at Washington City. It says, the stylish shoot-'em-up John Wick franchise is running low on imaginative ammo in Chapter 4. I wouldn't say that. Once you learn the mechanics of it, though, yeah, their suits can deflect bullets or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. Nah, John Wick 4 is beautifully realized within its own context, but the context has become so disconnected from any reality, so myopic visually, and so cartoonish. Without rhyme or reason, some are calling the minimalist, I call it boring. Minimalist, no. It is cartoonish. People getting hit by cars, standing up and walking away. Yeah, that's cartoonish. You can't deny that. Someone falling out of a 3-story building, getting up and walking away. That's no, you can't do that. Yeah, right. But that's sort of been, some of those elements have been established before in the realm of the John Wick movies. So you just kind of expect that within this movie. So I expected it. You haven't done anything like jump a car from one building to another or taken a car into outer space. It's not that far cartoonish. It's not that far. But for the most part, I agree with what everybody else has been saying, that like the fighting choreography is great. It does have some heart to it for sure. Some heart that comes around full circle to the first movie, which I really appreciated. So while I don't think that I would give it quite as high as that came down just a bit, right? 9.5 there. I just refreshed that. It was at 9.6, right? So it came down a percentage. It'll come down a bit. And it's going to blow the box office up this weekend. It's going to be number 1. So I don't think I would even give it a 9, guys. To be rational about this, to be measured, I would probably have to end up giving John Wick Chapter 4 an 8.5 out of 10. And that's me. I want to give it an 8 out of 10. I want to get, yeah, and I am. That's it. John Wick Chapter 4 is an 8 out of 10 for me. Is it going to be my favorite movie of this month? We'll just have to wait and see, because we still got a few more to go before the end of the month. But it's going to be, as of right now, I still think it's probably number one. As I said, why it's so low is probably because of that runtime. There are a few scenes in there where it's just like, well, we just seen that, so why are we repeating it? There's a few things in there that do get redundant, and I want to see how that holds up upon repeat viewings. And that runtime could have been cut down from like 250 to 230 if you cut out some of those sequences. That's the way I feel. But I do like the ending, and I do hope they stick to their guns and keep that ending. Keep it, because I dug it a lot. And it would be an awesome way for John Wick to close out its series. That's all I'll say. Yeah, stick to your guns. All right, guys, that's it for me. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Your Domain. All right, let's take some live chat comments here. See if anybody's talked about it here. Chris Schober says, I can't wait to see John Wick Chapter 5. I hope that is going to be 3 hours too. Say it 10 out of 10. No, Bifer, I don't know if I give it a 10 out of 10. As I said, okay, I'll talk a little bit of spoilers here. I hope this is the last John Wick movie. It should be. Because when you listen to the director talk, it's kind of like, it has to end somewhere, guys. Either he gets his freedom and then he gets called back into action over and over again. And I said this yesterday too. John Wick has to be careful about treading into that Die Hard area where it's just kind of like, it gets repetitive and it gets dull. And John Wick Chapter 4 ends this in such a way that it's like it couldn't have ended any better, I don't think. And it was very poetic too. I liked the ending to this a lot. Yeah, and a lot of it that had to do with Donnie Yen's acting, Keanu's acting, and Ian McShane's acting. A lot of it. So that's why I like the ending for this quite a bit. I don't expect to see a John Wick Chapter 4. And if they're, I don't know why, like, no. I think all is, like, this is a satisfying enough conclusion to it where it's kind of like, yeah, I don't think we need any more. Now, we know that Ballerina's coming out. That's going to be in between 3 and 4, right? So that it's not going to be the end of seeing John Wick in action, maybe. We know that he's going to show up in Ballerina, but I don't know if he's going to have a big sequence or not. But it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, you can't just keep on milking the cow until like everybody's dry, right? You don't want to run it into the ground. And I know that the executive producers will be like, why did that happen? We need to have more. We need John Wick every year. We need to make this cash cow come in. And it's kind of like, haven't we learned from other franchises that if you keep on doing this, like the Saw franchise, Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, all of these things like Die Hard, you just keep on milking it like this and people will lose interest and you kill your product. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't close the door somewhere along the lines to do more with him. I think that there's a possibility to do more. In a weird way. If you know how this ends, then you'll be like, well, how, right? But there would be a way to do more with things like spin-offs with like the Ballerina and stuff, where you'd see him in other situations. But he wouldn't be the main character anymore. Because I think this would be like the perfect cap on it. That's what I would say. And if this is it, the final one, yeah, look at these numbers. Look at the way that people are reacting to it. You're going out on top, and that's what you want. That's what you want. You want to go out on top, and you are going out on top, Keanu. At least with this franchise, he is. That's what I would say. Because I know there are other reviewers out there saying that this is a masterpiece, and the stunt work in this, choreography, if that's all your bag, you're gonna love this movie. You're gonna love it. It's breathtakingly beautiful to see it on the big screen too. Soundtrack is really good. Yeah. Arglass says, I wonder Keanu is going to wind down on action movies, or will Constantine movie sequel be ramped up? Well, yeah, he wants to do the Constantine movie too, so hopefully that gets underway as well. Chris Ober says, do you think John Wick Chapter 5 will be the finale? Well, that's what I thought. I thought I even heard quotes that the director of this one wanted to ramp up that fighting for John Wick Chapter 5. And I thought there was going to be 5. But this one ends in such a way that if they were to end it, stop it now, this would be like a really cool way to stop it. This would be a really great way to stop it. And I hope that they do. Because there is a way that they can bring it back. There is a way. But I just don't know if we need to do that. I just don't know if we need to do that. Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for me. I've gone an hour. So I'm going to give myself another day and a half here of rest. And hopefully by Monday, I'm hoping by tomorrow I'll feel good enough that I'll be able to post a weekly schedule. That I'll be able to commit to a weekly schedule. I don't want to post a schedule and feel like I got to do it even though I feel like this kind of thing, right? I want to be back to 100% before I do that. So we'll still play it by ear, but I should be back. Monday movie news will be back for sure, 100%. I just don't know if I can do like the 3-4 hour marathons of that and watching a movie on top of that. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Other than that, guys, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains.